Gradually withdraw my mind and intellect, being external, and turn my mind within. I become aware of myself as a tiny point of light in the center of my forehead. I am light. I am a being of light. I am eternal, imperishable, immortal, living light. I see through these eyes. I am behind these eyes. I am hearing through these ears. I am separate. I can feel existence of the light energy in the center of my forehead. I am peace. I am a being of peace. Vibrations of peace emanates from within and fills my mind. In the awareness of being light, I enjoy these moments, being at peace with myself. Peace and silence. As I dive deep into myself, I also discover love, like the sunshine enveloping the soul. I am a powerful being of light. In this self-awareness, true self-awareness, I am experiencing myself becoming very light, weightless. I can move away from this body and I see myself floating beyond the pull of the matter, beyond this corporeal world, the cosmos, into the dimension of golden red light. I, the being of light, I am surrounded by the infinite golden red light of my sweet silence home. I absorb this silence. In this silence home, I see myself in the presence of the supreme light, the source of all lights. I come closer and closer to the supreme light, the supreme soul. I am connected to the source. Like the sun of knowledge, the supreme light is showering me with rays filled with light, with peace, with love. I, the being of light, I am bathing in the waves of this ocean of light. I am merged in the ocean of light. I enjoy these moments of being connected to the source. I am being filled with God's light, God's peace, God's love and wisdom. I am totally energized. I am totally empowered. Recharged. And now slowly, I allow myself to return to this world of matter, return to my body totally refreshed, recharged, and empowered. I am peace. I am love. I am light. And I allow these positive vibrations to spread all around until it becomes an aura around myself. Om Shanti. Shanti. Shanti.
Hello, Om Shanti, everyone. A very warm welcome to this very special program. See, like a very special program. Welcome, everyone. Very special that from different parts of the world, we are all together here. It's like attending one program under the same hall. And uh, more than that, the most important and special thing is that we have our very senior Raj Yogi sister, Sister Meera. She is the director and spiritual ambassador of Brahma Kumaris Malaysia. And today she is joining from our Brahma Kumaris Om Shanti Retreat Center in Delhi, India. Um, Sister Meera joined Brahma Kumaris more than 50 years today after she completed her Bachelor of Science in Mysore University. She joined and since then she's been traveling extensively and she's very deep in this spiritual knowledge, and she shares with a lot of simplicity as per my personal experience, the deep spiritual knowledge with so much simplicity that you can take home with you to apply in your life. And today we will discuss the most important aspect that we all need to develop in us, and that is adapting to changes. And adapting to changes is a spiritual power we all have within us. And right now, we need more than any other time. So it's a fortune to have Sister Meera to take us through that understanding and how to cultivate and use it at this time. So before we go to Sister Meera to start with it, let me tell you that after the talk, we'll have question and answers. So if you have any questions, please put it on the chat box, and we will take up the questions as many as we can. So now, without further delay, let's hear it out from Sister Meera.
And good evening for you, and good morning for me in India. It gives me a great pleasure to be with all of you this evening to share something very important, that we all need at this hour in our practical life. And I think the topic that was chosen for this moment is also very appropriate, because we are all experiencing, uh, constant changes in our life, and some of us don't even know how to adapt ourselves. And so sometimes we are confused, we are upset, we are disturbed. And so let us see if we can share something with you from what I have learned from the Brahma Kumaris over the past 50 years. And if these tools, this technique can help you to make some change in your life so that you are able to, become a better person when these changes happens in your life. So let us look at the paranomic view of the world in which we are living today. And when you look at the paranomic view of the world in which we are living today, you can see clearly that we have gone through lots of changes, from swinging 60s to vibrant 70s, new age 80s, and stressful 19s. And then I'm sure you remember that when we went into Y2K, 2000, when the 21st era was beginning, we were expecting some wonder will happen. So there was a lot of anticipation, but what we are seeing in practical, it has become worse than getting better. And so sometimes we wonder, living in this 21st century is like a sea-going adventure. Do you agree with me? Why I say it's a sea-going adventure? Because sailing towards the unknown. We don't know where this is going to take us. So one thing that we need to learn living in this 21st century is how to live smarter and not hard, and how to look at things happening in our life from inside out. And one thing I think you all agree with me, something that is happening constantly in our life is change. And we agree that change is a law of nature. Change is inevitable. And I feel that world was never static. It was never static, right? It has been constantly changing. Maybe in the beginning of the cycle, the changes were very slow. We hardly could have noticed. But as we move on in the cycle of life, the changes have started to get more faster. And so today, what we are experiencing is too many changes happening too fast at the same time. So sometimes we feel that we cannot cope. A change is not anything new, but this present moment, what we are feeling is too many changes happening, too much at the same time. So we are complaining about how to manage change. So one thing I would feel that, because as we all accept, the change is the law of nature and it is inevitable, we have to get used to the idea that everything will change. Whether you want or not, it will change. And so if I'm able to accept the idea, then it is easier for me to face the challenges of the change in a better way. But anyway, I feel that change is good for our growth. What do you think? You would like to have change for your growth? Even for example, when a baby is born, if the baby doesn't grow at all, no changes in the life, parents get worried. What happens? 10-year-old, 12-year-old, the child is not growing, not speaking. They have to take the child to the doctor. So it is change that we want to see in the growth of the child. And so we are also growing. So change is a good sign for our growth. But one thing we should not do when changes are happening is we should not fight the change, or we should not resist change. Because when you resist changes or when you fight, you are only bringing stress, tension to your life. No, that is why once somebody told me that there are 3 types of people in our world today. You can check as you listen to me which category you belong to. One type of people are those who have made up their mind that they are not going to change no matter what are the external changes happening. And so second type of people are those who are prepared to make change provided the changes are according to their favor. It's like a business deal. And the third type of people are those who flow with the change, who adapt themselves to the change. So where do I belong to? It is better we belong to the third category so that we are able to become the agents for change. Would you like to become an agent for change? If you would like to become an agent for change, then you need to flow with the change. You need to adapt yourself with the change. You need to adjust yourself, whatever happening around me. And I remember one beautiful example, from the nature, water. Look at the water. You can put water in any shape of the container. The water has the nature to adapt itself to the container. Can we not even at least learn this lesson from the nature, how they adapt? But if I want to be a winner, if I want to be victorious when the changes are happening around me, I really need to become flexible. If I become very adamant, I will be the loser. Sometimes I give the example of, say, for example, you hold a piece of paper in your hand, and in the other hand, you hold a stick. Try to bend both. What happens to the paper? It will bend. What will happen to the stick? It will break. So what is the reason? The stick don't have the power to resist. The paper has the power of resistance. So what is happening at this time is we need to have the power of resistance, increase my power to resist so that I am able to bend instead of breaking. I am able to move and flow with the changes instead of breaking away. So what I would like to share with you is some of the method, maybe some of the technique that I can keep in my mind as I go through this life of drastic changes, particularly at this present time. The first one I would like is to change. Actually, I cannot change the situation. I cannot change the external things happening around me. So I need to change my mindset, my belief. The way I look at things, I need to change my mindset and my belief, and then it becomes easier to adapt according to the changes. And secondly, as I was mentioning earlier, it is good for me to look at things happening outside, from not outside in, from inside out. Because most of the things, what is happening is not that much important. How I respond to the situation, that is very important, because that is where my power, my inner power is revealed. So try to see the situation from inside out, because all of us are facing the same situation now. Like for example, in this time of lockdown, some of us feel that, oh, I have so much time now. I wanted to do so many things in my life. I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to do some research. I wanted some time for myself, but I never had. So I'm so thankful to God that He has given this space for me. So someone will look at this time of lockdown in that way, but someone may be in a lot of frustration, feeling that they are like, being isolated. They cannot go out. They feel like being a prisoner. So it is up to each one how you look at the situation. That is why they say two prisoners were looking through the bar of a prison. One prisoner looked at the stars in the sky, and the other prisoner looked at the mud. So what makes the difference is either being an optimist or a pessimist. So if you are a pessimist, you look at the changes that are happening in a negative way, and then you cause sorrow, you cause injury to yourself and blame others. But if I look at the same situation from inside out, that means with an optimistic attitude, I find that it's a blessing in disguise. I don't know how many of you are feeling that way, because I myself, I am in the lockdown here for the past 10 weeks. And I am enjoying this time with myself and with my family here. And I feel that many things I wanted to do for a long time, which I never had. So now I could attend to all of them and feel, the feeling of the presence of the family with me. So it's up to me, whether I can create stress or strength. So that is why they say that a stressful person, say nice things in a nasty way, but a person who is free from stress will speak in even the nastiest things in a nicest way. So give yourself a chance, another chance to look at this time that you are being given as a gift from God, to make your life, inner life, more beautiful, which we may not at all have had in the past. So that's what I mean, see things happening from inside out. And third thing, I feel that each one of us have the power to adapt in ourselves. Each one of us have enough energy within us. Like psychologists say that we are only using 10% of our mind power. 90% of the power of the mind is not being tapped because there was no need for us to do that. But now is the chance. So look at this change as a challenge. Look at these changes that are happening as a challenge for you to tap the resources that you already have within yourself. Then you appreciate, once you have looked at the situation as a challenge, not as a problem. Look at this difficult time not as difficulty, but as an opportunity. Then when you come out of it, you really feel, you really appreciate. Now, I give you one simple example. There was one patient in the hospital. This is real story. And he was bedridden. He couldn't, get up from the bed for a long time, and doctors and nurses were looking after the patient. So suddenly there was a fire alarm in the hospital. So you can imagine what would have happened. Everybody's, trying to rescue themselves, running out of the hospital, and nobody was thinking about this patient. So he had a choice. He had a choice either to die or to live. Because he was an optimist, he looked at that change in his life as a challenge. He could get up from the bed and run down the stairs before anybody comes out. So, do you agree? We all have that energy within ourselves. We are lazy to tap. So use this chance to go within, look this change as a challenge, and try to tap the resource that you already have within yourself. And another important aspect is, life is like a game. Life is like a game. Sometimes we win, sometimes others win. There is happiness, sorrow, victory, defeat. So look at this scene that is happening in our world today as a scene of the drama. Even good things will change, not just bad things, right? Even good things that happens in our life will not stay all the time. So when I understand this life as a passing phase, which is constantly changing, you enjoy everything. Tragedy is also good, because if you don't have tragedy, you don't appreciate comedy, right? if you don't have pain, you don't appreciate pleasure. And I'm sure, I really am sure we will all appreciate all these changes that are happening in our life, particularly at this time when it passes, when it becomes a story. And then when you read that story, you may start to think, wow, those people who have gone through these changes, they have been really brave warriors. And so some of these, uh, these things that I need to keep in my mind so that I am not alarmed. I don't start blaming people. I don't start pointing other people's mistake. What I also want to share with you is some tips we can keep with us to adapt ourselves for the changes that are happening around us, whether it is losing job or, getting sick, or having the fear of getting sick, or whatever changes that are happening, economic problem, monetary problem, family problem, whatever. So the first and foremost thing I feel it is important is you need to embrace change and enjoy it. Embrace change and enjoy it, because it will help me to have that positive frame of mind. And when you have positive frame of mind, when you begin to enjoy something, it passes off very fast. But when you don't embrace them, if there is denial, then you find that the time seems to be longer. So don't have any denial, accept it for good, embrace it, and in that way you will have the strength to make the necessary changes that I have to make in my life. Because sometimes I feel personally, changes happens in our life, giving us a signal, I have to change something within myself. Because sometimes we never think about it. And so this is the first thing I would suggest to adapting change. Embrace change and enjoy it. Don't have self-denial, and then you will find that how life becomes even more enjoyable. And then the second thing, what is important is when we are going through changes, one thing we have to remember to keep fixed in our life is keep your whatever schedule you have for yourself, don't make changes in that. Whatever timetable, whatever routine you have created for yourself, that you must keep it up. Because if you make changes in your schedule because of the external changes, then you will be nowhere. So when changes are happening around us, within ourselves, in our family, in the atmosphere, the schedule, the routine, the timetable that we have kept for ourselves should be maintained. That will help us to a great extent. And another important thing I feel, when people are going through this, there is a lot of worry, lot of fear, lot of anxiety. So people start losing sleep, they stop eating properly, feeling healthy. And that actually affects the changes that are happening on your life even faster. So even doctors also advise that, you have to keep yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy. So whatever you need to do for that, you should be prepared to do it. Physically healthy, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, and emotionally healthy, so that you can have the coping mechanism to face the challenges. And one thing I am doing it for myself, this is from my experience, in the past 2 months or 10 weeks, I've been here, and I am making a note for myself all the positive lessons I am learning from the changes that are happening, because every morning we hear a different news and we need to be prepared, adapt ourselves according to whatever news, whatever happening around me. And so I have been making a note of the lessons that this changes is teaching me, and it is really wonderful, so many changes, so many weaknesses that you can change, and so many things you can learn to adapt. You are able to live with someone, because sometimes I know, people who never lived with the family members, they would have worked 22 hours a day, 7 days a week. Once in Australia, I met a lady. I asked her, why do you work so hard? 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. She said, then I don't have to deal with the problems in my family. I don't have time. Avoid, but then now we have time, we can deal with the change. You can't avoid. So if you are a person who are avoiding things, but now you have time, you cannot avoid, you face. This courage also comes, many benefits. So make a note of all the teachings, all the lessons this changes brings into my personal life. That's very good also. And another important thing in this adapting change comes is be proactive, not reactive. Because the more you react to the changes, the more you lose the energy you already have. Reaction is always negative. And so there is no point in reacting. It's happening anyway. So it is better I become proactive instead of being reactive. And also at this point of time, we need to increase our resilience. How I can bounce back to my original state of mind. So I need to give myself to have some patience to return to the resilience. And instead of being fearful, I would suggest, because when the changes are happening, when we are not able to adapt, there is a lot of fear. And of course, most of the fears we have doesn't even exist, isn't it? And so instead of having an attitude of fear towards the changes, so cultivate certain values, which is opposite to fear. For example, courage. When you find that you cannot face a change, you give yourself a challenge to move into it, and you find that the energy comes to you from within too. And as I was mentioning earlier, we also need to increase our inner resistance. When some people don't have good immunity system, bodily immunity is not good, they get, infections very fast. So I need to increase my mental immunity. I need to make the energy of my mind greater than the external energy that is coming from the changes that are happening. Because there are environmental changes, climate changes, there is a change in different aspects. So if I am able to work on my mind, and I increase my mental immunity towards the changes, then you can able to adapt easily. Of course, there are different methods we can use to enhance our mental immunity so that the external vibrations created by the changes does not affect me. And of course, also it is important to empower myself spiritually. Spirituality really comes as a great rescue at this time of changes. And spirituality is not religion. Spirituality is connected with wisdom, So when I am able to enhance my spiritual power, soul power, so to say, I am able to, they say mind over matter. So when my spiritual power, when the power of my mind becomes greater than the external, so I will not be affected at least. Then when I have enough power, then I am able to enhance, help others around me also. So in order to spiritually enhance myself, there are different methods. One is you can practice physical yoga, you can practice meditation, whatever type of meditation you like to practice, because in meditation we use the power of the mind, and so we are able to empower the mind spiritually. My own experience, I have been practicing Raja Yoga meditation for the past 50 years, and I find that I have traveled to so many countries and so many changes every day. But I find that, it has become like um, a enjoyable thing for me to be in the midst of changes, because it teaches me how much power to adapt I have, and how much light and easy I can be with others. So one of the techniques that could help you in order to spiritually empower yourself is actually meditation, mindfulness, yoga practice, uh, all these things to a great extent. And recently I have come across with one very interesting thing that could help us during this time of change, is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Even they say that this attitude of gratitude towards God, towards people, towards nature, what it has given to me, it actually not only enhances your mental power, but it also helps in enhancing your physical immunity. So I would like you to experiment this, and I am doing it myself. From the moment you get up in the morning, you start having an attitude of gratitude for everything that you have, even a clean water, electricity, clean air to breathe, a roof to live on, things like that, little things you are grateful, and that positive energy you will accumulate within yourself. And at the end of the day, you feel more cheerful than being fearful. And so during the whole day, as many times as possible, thank God for everything, because sometimes we cry, we don't have something, but we forget there are people who don't even have what we have. So I read somewhere a little expression written, a boy was crying for not having a next pair of shoes. He had one pair of shoes already, but he wanted another pair. So he was crying. So his friend said, why you are crying? Think about that boy who don't even have legs to wear a shoe. How do you feel? So I think this is what is very important. In whatever situation we are, in whatever circumstances we are, the more we are thankful, the more we are grateful, that attitude of gratitude enhances our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with others, and our relationship with the nature. And I find that this is one of the secret of activating abundance. It's no point thinking I don't have something, but you have something. You may not have everything, but if you can be having that gratitude for what you have, you activate more of that already. So to learn to activate abundance, and so you are able to feel full, in that way we can move along in this life. Anyway, the world is subjected to change. These days will also pass. Someone told me the other day, what is the meaning of courage? Courage means to make myself understand whatever situation I am facing today, that will also pass. Nothing is going to be permanent. So I need to make sure my stage is permanently stable. I should not be shaky. So that is why one very beautiful lesson that we learn in Raj Yoga is, whatever has happened until yesterday was good. Whatever is happening now is very good. Whatever will happen will be the best. You become what you think. So you have a choice to think. Don't forget, you are the master. You have a choice to think. So if you think it's a problem, change is a problem, it will be a problem for you. But if you think it is a solution to move forward, to grow, for growth, so that will be solution. Thoughts are inevitable. Thoughts you cannot stop, but thinking is optional. You have a choice to think. So make a good choice to think during this time of change and use this change to enhance your progress. And so at the end of the day, then you thank God for whatever has happened. Maybe not right now, because we are now a little bit, not far-sighted. We are only looking at the present moment, so we are reacting. But if we can broaden our spectrum, we can have a far-sightedness. So then we appreciate the time that we are passing through now, because the cycle of time will not be stagnant. So in that way, let us learn to adapt, not have any denial, embrace change, adapt, become like water. You should be able to mold yourself according to the situation. As we say in Raj Yoga, those who have the power to mold are the real gold. So it is your choice. Either you can bend or you break. And so make a good choice. Enjoy the rest of your life. Activate abundance and thank God at every step in your life. And you will find that you will grow spiritually, physically, emotionally healthier. With these words, I would like to say thank you to the Vancouver family for allowing me to share this wisdom with all of you. I hope it will be of some use to all of you. Thank you very much.
Isn't it great? It was such empowering. She always gives us the methods that we may be knowing, but we have to really have it to use it handy with us. So many pearls of wisdom, actually. So we have to keep our state of mind permanent, whereas everything else outside is changing. That's beautiful how the cheerful or fearful, it's our choice, and more we can thank life. And also always courage, the definition she gave, that make me understand and remember that whatever is happening even now will pass. And so many more, I got so many that contrast. And we really need to shift our mind towards values, not the worries and fear. So I'm sure you have noted down and you will look through your notes, and this is really empowering. Thank you, Meera Didi. I always had that experience whenever I have attended her talk. There are a few questions, not many, but if you have any question, please put it here. So I'll ask Didi that, so there was a question that, how can we use change positively to help other beings? And somewhere you said the meditation, but yeah, the question is, how can we use the change in a positive light in order to help others?
I think, first of all, I have to change myself. When I change, others change. Change is not something you can teach others, no? So you have to change so that your change, when they see an example, then it is easy to follow an example than preceptor. So be an example than being a preceptor. So if you have brought positive change in your life, be the change you want to see. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So when you have change, everything around you will change.
Right. So, yeah, in this regard, actually, exactly how you have narrated that, how we have to see what are the positive things in our life that we have been missing, noticing, we are bringing in. So, seeing the change in a positive light and changing the self. And you said the method is meditation. Definitely through meditation, as we become strong, we can be a help. Somebody's giving a comment. Great message. Sunil says that we should not get hung up on our views of how things should be, because we may miss out on learning how they really are. That's a message that came along through your talk, that we shouldn't have a perception that things has to be like this, and then we'll miss out the current moment, what's happening. You want to add anything to that?
I think what I would say, in other words, don't condition your mind. When you condition your mind, and then it's very easy to adjust. So keep an open mind. That's what I understand from his saying. Then you will be able to learn from what it wants to teach you. Otherwise, you close. When you have condition, you have a closed mind, then you cannot learn. That's what I
That's
understand.
very true, very true. So we all have open mind, and we all are definitely counting on our blessings, what this scenario has brought. And one is, see, having Meera Didi among us is such a blessing, and this technology is great. There's one more question. Gagan asks that, can you please elaborate on how we can maintain the schedule if external changes are happening constantly? So which schedule is in our...
It's just like a timetable. Usually most of the wise people, they plan their day, what they want to do. And so sometimes because of the changes, we become not so disciplined to maintain that routine. Like say what time to get up, and how I will get up in the morning, and what will be the first thing I will do. And then then like a certain kind of disciplined routine people have. I'm not talking about the routine of going to work and then going to school, because when this kind of situation is there, we are not going to work, we are not going to school. So that is not the physical kind of routine. I'm talking about the mental routine. Routine for the mind, what I'm going to think today, what I'm going to do today for myself, some kind of mental discipline timetable that we should not give up. Because sometimes, say, when we are going through this kind of situation, we tend to get affected. Our mind is affected, and then we start thinking too much, and then we start either eating too much or sleeping too much or not sleeping at all. And so it disturbs our sleep cycle, it disturbs our health, So that's what I mean. So eating at the right time, sleeping at the right time, uh, waking up at the right time, certain mental discipline we should not give up.
Right, very true. So we have to look at that what's happening outside, like you said, that external changes shouldn't affect me at all. So I have to increase my power. There's one more question, that what is the first step to create capacity to accept change?
What is the
What
first
is
step? I would
first?
say first step, first step I need to take is to accept it. Before even you embrace it, you accept the change. Don't have self-denial, and don't question why. Simply take it as something beneficial. your attitude should be benevolent. There is something that God wants to teach me through this situation. Let me learn. That is the first step. Open your mind for learning. And then you will find that you have the capacity to face the change because you have a learning attitude. And God's help also comes to you because you have the humility to learn from the situation. So then you will be able to move along with other things. That's my feeling. Accept and knowing that there is something that this situation wants to teach me, and I will just keep my mind open and I have the humility to learn. Then you are able to be flexible, adapt, move along.
That's beautiful. True. Open your mind. What is that? It's teaching me, and that will change the whole experience. That's the first step. Open your mind for learning. Great. There is one more question. I'll read it all. As change is vital, so is drama, which is fixed, and we need to follow Srimad given by Baba. But what are the ways to be strong in decision we take, as its choice to be fearless or fearful after taking a decision during the process, as there is uncertainty externally? So the question is how to stick to my choice, whether fearless or fearful, because external situations are constantly changing. So that will keep us keep on affecting us.
Actually, if you have made your choice to be fearless instead of being fearful on the basis of your self-esteem, many people don't have enough self-esteem, so they are indecisive. They don't want to take up the responsibility to make a decision. And so if you have enough self-esteem, and with that authority, with that strength, you make a decision, then even if the changes are fearful, you will not be affected because your self-esteem will protect you, because you will take risk. What it means to have self-respect is to take risk, to do something impossible. So you are ready because you have self-respect, you have made the decision to be fearless, and so you will have that energy to move through the situation, risky situation, without being in a kind of fluctuation. So you are able to face the situation. That is one of the signs of the souls who have self-esteem. Because many of us, most of the time, because we don't have enough self-esteem, we make decisions and then we cannot stick to it, and then we become fearful. So this practice is very, very important to develop self-esteem. And seated on the seat of self-esteem, I take responsibility. I take responsibility and I take risk for the decisions I have made to face whatever may be the consequences. Then I will not have any fear.
Right, courage and values based on that, like keeping up with the self-esteem. That's really powerful. Along this line, there's a question: how can I help people around me to get over the fear of unknown? People are too much exposed to negativity.
See, actually, they need a kind of atmosphere, vibrations around them where they feel safety. They need to have a company or a companion who is strong enough. And so if I want to help a person who has fear, first of all, I should be the one who have conquered fear. If you yourself in a fearful situation, internally or externally, you cannot help. So first of all, I need to train myself to have a state of mind which is free from fear, so that my energy will create that vibration will create an atmosphere so they feel safe in the company of a person who is fearless. Just like when you're traveling in a boat, if the boatman is strong, even if the boat is fluctuating, but because the boatman, you trust the boatman, you don't have the fear because you know you will reach the other end. But if the boatman himself is fluctuating, then the whole people in the boat will be also full of fear. So that's my feeling, that I have to first of all empower myself and create such a fearless stage that I create a vibration around myself, a fortress, so whoever comes in contact with me in that fortress will feel safe, even though they don't have their own strength, but they feel safe with that vibrations in my company.
Yeah, building the fortress, beautiful. How to be proactive with positivity? So that's the question again, like how we can keep ourselves proactive with positive thought or energy.
Say, I have to keep it consistently, but because we are not keeping that positivity consistently, and sometimes we don't understand even what is positivity, because many people misunderstand to be positive means to run away or escapism. But for me, to be positive and proactive means like, the way you look at things from inside out is so different. For example, you look at every change in life as a challenge, so you are able to be proactive to face the change as a challenge, so you come out of it. Or if you face every difficulty as an opportunity, so because of that positivity, you are proactive in overcoming that difficulty. So I need to consistently maintain, understand what is positivity, and it's my perception. I have to change my perception. It all depends on how you perceive things. That's why in the beginning I mentioned about changing my mindset and belief. So if you have brought that change in your mindset and belief, it would help me to be proactive, and then I can maintain that positivity in that situation.
Yeah, great, great. There are so many comments that it's very helpful. It is such pearls of wisdom at this moment. We all have benefited greatly. So I think we will end the question answer session here. Right now, I want to request Sister Claudia, the Center Coordinator of Vancouver Brahma Kumaris, to say a few words to all of us. Sister Claudia. Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Meera Bhen, for coming and stay with us. And it's a quite big pleasure, that we were always thinking about to bring you back to Vancouver fly, but you came very easily. And we are very enjoy your talk was very nice the moment we needed. So that's the first time that we do a public program. And then we were just, with your help, we were fearless. And then everything went very nice, and we really enjoy. You came and told us so many good things at the time that we all need. So thank you very much. Many, many thanks to you.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Claudia.
I see you too. And also today was the meditation experience. So we had a very good meditation experience. We have meditation experience every Friday. So today we have a nice meditation experience with you. Everything was very good. Thank you, Drama. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Maybe Aditi, you take us through again another meditation. Let's all of us reflect what we learned and enjoy this meditation, empowering the self.
So I would like to request whoever is sitting, wherever they are sitting, just to sit relaxed Make yourself comfortable with your feet firm on the floor, and just put your hands relaxed on your lap and breathe normally. And as you breathe in relaxation. And as you breathe out, just feel all the tension slipping away. And you can take your mind to your favorite place, a peaceful place, whichever you enjoy very much. And I will speak a few thoughts. Maybe you can try to follow them through your mind so we can go on a journey, inner journey, outward journey, and upward journey. Just to let you know that if any unwanted thoughts comes in between, just ignore them. They will disappear. I allow myself to sit comfortably, relaxed. I turn my mind within. I ask myself, who am I? Who am I really? When I introduce myself to others, what do I tell them? I may tell them my name, my relationship, my occupation. Is that all me? Is there anything more I can think about myself? As I ponder over these thoughts, I begin to see another layer emerging from deep within. I have thoughts. I have feelings. I have emotions. I even have memories. All these subtle aspects are contained in a tiny energy point, the consciousness, the soul. I realize I am that living energy with feelings, thoughts, emotions, and memories. I visualize myself on the screen of my mind as a living light, living energy. As I focus my thoughts towards this being of light, my inner journey begins. I dive deep into this point of light. I discover peace, inner peace, vibrations of peace emerges from deep within and fills my mind. My mind has become like a calm lake without any ripples. I enjoy these moments of being at peace with myself. Peace and silence. Inner peace. Inner silence. I also discover I, the being of light, I am full of energy, power. And in this inner journey, I am experiencing myself becoming very, very light, so weightless that I can move away from this body and I see myself floating beyond this body, moving upwards, enjoying freedom, moving beyond this world of cosmos into the dimension of golden red light. My home, the soul world. In this infinite home of golden red light, I see myself in the presence of the supreme light. I come closer to the source of light. I am connected. I am receiving rays filled with light and might from the supreme light. These rays are penetrating into my deep subconscious mind, and I feel cleansed. I am feeling empowerment. I enjoy this union with the Supreme. I stay connected. I am filled with God's light, God's love and peace. Silence, peace, balance. From a distance, I prepare myself to return to this world of matter, to return to my body, to play my role on this drama stage. Try to make this journey, internal journey, inner journey, upward journey as many times as possible during the day, so that you feel empowered, energized to face the challenges of this world. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, आती है आंधियाँ से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, दुर्गम को पार करके हिमालय कोई चढ़ा है, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, होगा विशाल तरवर वो बीज जो पड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, हर काम उसके रहते हरगिज़ हुआ पड़ा है, कभी हारना ना हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, कभी हारना ना हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, हजारों कदम बढ़ाने वो सामने खड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
Om Shanti. I like to thank you once more, Meera Ben, and also the team at ORC who hosts for us, and tell everybody that we continue to have an online course, workshop, and Raj Yoga course. Please check online and be with us always. And I like to say Om Shanti,
Oh, Shanti.
Meera Ben.